This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Where is it? I'm all over the place today. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for hanging out. What a great time with Mo Kelly today on the Mark Thompson Show. Love having him fill in. Tomorrow, Mark is back, and David Katz will be on the show, former federal prosecutor. We'll talk about the pending legal cases that are in the news, and Christy Grammer from sweet106bakery.com will be on the show, and she'll share her newest flavors. And all I will say is that one of them is a merging of cupcakes and Coachella Valley coffee. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned for that. That is tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show. But here on the After Party Live, it is Waterfall Wednesday. We need to take a collective deep breath and hang out and chill out and kind of let go of all the stress, because the world is definitely full of stress right now. And just for not that we don't need to pay attention, but there are moments where you have to just take a deep breath and look away for your own sanity. And that is this show, where we talk about the interesting stories that maybe aren't making the, as Mo said earlier, the A block, right? The stories that might get shuffled down to the end of the show, or that we had in mind, but then never quite got to. So that's this show. I do want to thank everyone who contributes to the After Party Live. It's because of you that this show happens at all. Wes, thank you very much for your contribution today. James S., Wes from yesterday, Deidre, Susan S., thank you so much for your PayPal payments. The PayPal information is in an everyday's show description and in the About tab as well. And since I'm being a good YouTuber today, please click like. If you haven't subscribed already, please click subscribe. If you click subscribe and it unhighlights, you've not subscribed, you've unsubscribed. Don't do that. Please subscribe, make it so it's highlighted, and that will work. And so thank you for subscribing to this show. Appreciate it. I know, Yvonne, I see you. I see you're like, whoa, Sweet 106. I know. It's fantastic. So good. Coffee cupcakes. Oh, I'm telling you what, more to come on that. Ricky, I hope you're feeling okay. I was looking in the chat that you're in the hospital. Heather, happy moving. Super excited about your new place. And thank you for keeping the show on as you set things up and get yourself situated and ready for your new married life ahead. So excited for you that all of that is happening. And thank you guys all for being here. I wanted to start the show with this absolute magic. The whale watching off of the coast of Lahaina this winter, spring, as the humpbacks come through, is absolutely incredible. And these boaters were completely shocked and lucky that they were the ones off the coast of Lahaina to see this triple. This is an incredible sight. This pod of whales breached in the waters right near their boat. It happened last month. This man, his name is Mason, said he was on a Maui family vacation and he went on the Hawaiian ocean rafting excursion when he captured this incredible amount of activity. It was a simultaneous triple breach. 3 of them came up, one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. The tour guides in disbelief. He said, I was lucky to have my camera rolling for this once in a lifetime moment. You know, the humpback whales are protected in Hawaii. They say their guide followed all safety protocols, but still you can't help where they come up. And if that's right next to the boat, well, that's what it is. They said the whales actually approached the tour boat as well, which made this encounter really rare and really special. And I have Mason's video, and here it is. I'm going to let the sound roll on this one too.
Oh my God.
That was absolutely epic.
Oh.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
We got to watch it one more time. Well, I'll go all the way back to the beginning. Here it is. Here's the triple. Oops, I didn't go all the way back to the beginning. My apologies. I mean, I can't imagine being on that boat, how awesome that would be. I have been on whale watching boats in Maui before. Usually they're pretty far away from the boat, but you will see a breach here or there, maybe, but 3 in a row, that really is something spectacular. And how lucky are we that he was able to catch that one after the other, just like that. Crazy. Okay, one more time for posterity. I think I could play that 50 times and absolutely never get tired of it. So thank you. Thank you for humoring me. God, can you imagine being on that boat and seeing that? That is just so amazing. Wild. Would love to do that, says What the Sizzle. But seriously, I got ill just watching. Terrible motion sickness. Oh no. Oh man, Rhonda's here. Thank you, Rhonda, for stopping by the show. And yeah, Ricky is under the weather and getting some treatment. So we're hoping that he's going to be okay and that everything is all right. Um, yeah. Oh, Ricky says it's a touch of pneumonia. Oh, he's home today. Okay, good. Hope you feel better. Take good care of yourself. Make sure you drink lots of water. Sorry, it's the mom in me. Okay, here we go. We're gonna look at, not that you didn't know that. Now that you didn't know that, anyway. Um, how about another cute animal story? Look at those cheetah cubs. How cute could they ever be? 4 male cheetah cubs born at the San Diego Zoo. Oh my gosh. They're so cute. Look at those faces. I mean, they're cute now, maybe not later. The San Diego Zoo announcing the birth of 4 male cheetah cubs. These are actually the first of their species to be born at this facility in the last 6 years. They are bonding in private, just like they would do in the wild. They have a behind the scenes den at the Carnivore Conservation Center. The cubs are now emerging from their den, giving guests an opportunity to see them as part of the ultimate safari at the San Diego Zoo. They said the mother cheetah is very attentive to her baby cubs, that during these vital early months, the mother, Kalechi, spends much of her time grooming her cubs and keeping them close. And then as they continue to grow more curious and active, they play and climb all over her as she keeps a close eye on them, chirping to call them closer when she needs to do so. So these are all boys. They're 4 brothers, and male cheetahs, like these 4 brothers, form these groups called coalitions. They in the wild would hunt and travel together for life. This is a unique trait for this species, which is usually solitary, but not in this particular instance when you've got 4 male brothers like this. Um, they'll be bonded and they will be doing what they do at the zoo for the rest of their lives. Hopefully they don't break these 4 up. But boy, are they cute. Little fluffy cubs. Love that. You know, the other day we found a new Rembrandt, and today we got a new Michelangelo as well. Look at that. This author is claiming that documents show this bust called Christ the Savior is one of the secret works of Michelangelo. This is a marble bust depicting Christ the Savior. It's been a fixture in this church, St. Agnes, outside the walls. That's the church. Since 1590, it's been there. It's been there for a long time, 1590. And now it's in the spotlight because of new information that it's likely a Michelangelo. And so now people are flocking to come and see this Michelangelo bust. Some people say the bust isn't in the artist's style. Maybe, though, they were made in different periods of his life. But there's been a steady stream of visitors since this author, Valentina Salerno, who's an independent researcher, claimed during a press conference last week that newly discovered documents linked this bust to Michelangelo. It's created a bit of a uproar, a hoop-de-doo in the art world. So she's a fiction author and an actor. Said she's not an art historian. She did not finish university, but said her 3 years at law school were very useful because they equipped her with the skill and the tenacity to read notary acts, wills, and inventory with a legal eye. Sorry, Coachella Valley tea break was necessary there for a moment. For more than a decade, she's been looking through records in Italian and Vatican state archives, looking for details about the final days of Michelangelo's life in Rome. He lived there for about 30 years before he died in 1564. She said, I found it impossible to believe that nobody studied the last days of Michelangelo's life in a deep way. So she does this research and she posts her findings on academia.edu. It's this website used by academics. It's not peer reviewed, but she put it up there and she said there are so many mysteries, but here's what I found. One of the things that she says she discovered was this trove of documents about a secret room locked with multiple keys in which Michelangelo ordered his close associates to stash some of his drawings, sculptures, apparently including the Christ the Savior bust. And that, she said, challenges the long held theory that Michelangelo burned his works before he died. Instead, she said that she found evidence that there was a secret room and that his associates had to stash all of the art in there. She says his goal, Michelangelo's goal, was to hide his treasures from relatives that he detested in Florence and for them to be passed on for future study. Makes a lot more sense than burning it. The document showing the room later emptied and its contents transferred to religious institutions and other sites. And as a result, Salerno believes there could be about 20 unknown Michelangelo works, and she thinks the bust bears a resemblance to Tommaso de Cavalieri, a young nobleman that Michelangelo was infatuated with. She looks at documentation following Michelangelo's death that attributes the bust to him. This sculpture attracted a lot of discussion in the 18th and 19th centuries. So there's been a lot of writings. A French writer wrote in many years ago that he believed this bust was by Michelangelo. Then that attribution was debunked in 1984. Salerno says that debunking was incorrect. And since then, the bust has been categorized by Italy's culture ministry as being by an unknown sculpture. The research that she did, though, has the backing of the St. Agnes Church. The abbot of the Catholic order that runs that church said during the press conference, we have lived here since 1412, and the monumental complex of St. Agnes always holds surprises, and this is one of them. The Italian Culture Ministry did not respond to an invitation to the press conference. The cardinal who appointed Salerno to a scientific committee last year also did not attend. So, is it a Michelangelo? I don't know. Some art historians are ruling it out, saying her research is very useful and it should be developed, but no, it's not a Michelangelo. It doesn't have his style, according to one professor of medieval art history. Doesn't have his style. Uh, And it could be, what does he say? Provide, uh, let's see, it doesn't have a style. It doesn't have his quality. Maybe it was sculpted under his watch, but it is not by him. That is words from Francesco Cagliati, who's a professor of medieval art history. So this is under debate. Is it a Michelangelo or is it not? But in the meantime, people are coming to St. Agnes Church to see it. Whether it is or whether it isn't, it's getting a lot of renewed attention. Oh, 20 missing Michelangelo pieces. I'll be covering those as we find them. I know it's not Hide in Your Cave Monday anymore, but check this out. These runners have earned a Guinness World Record for embarking on the world's deepest marathon. They held a certified event more than 3,000 feet underground that earned them the Guinness World Record for the deepest marathon. This happened in Garpenberg, Sweden. 55 runners from 18 different countries took to this course. It was 3,669 feet and 10 inches underground, the world's deepest marathon. The Guinness World Records people said the depth is between the height of the world's tallest waterfall, Angel Falls, and the UK's highest mountain, known as Ben Nevis. They had to wear headlamps. You can see them all lit up there. To compete in this event, it contained 11 laps, raised about $1 million for charity. They said it was hot down there and it was humid down there and it was dusty down there, but they did it. The previous Guinness record for the deepest marathon went to the Crystal Mine Underground Marathon in Germany. That was 1,640 feet and 5 inches below sea level. This one, 3,669 feet and 10 inches underground. So, look at them go. Cave running. I don't know what I feel about this, how I feel about this next story. The fine scientists at MIT have designed these, what they call heirloom house concrete components. It's kind of furniture, kind of components, like kind of, I don't know, modules. It's furniture, basically, that they say will last 1,000 years. This is long-term furniture. I don't know if I like it. I'm not sure what I think about this. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cold. Well, concrete. Although I've seen some concrete counters that I really like. It is long-lasting, though. Researchers at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, unveiling their heirloom house project. This is a series of 9 structural concrete components that can be manually rearranged. They are intended to last for about 1,000 years. They've partnered with CEMEX, a Mexican building materials company, to make these concrete components. They say they used kinetics and physics to engineer these modular cement pieces. Most people, they say, live in an average of 12 homes in their lives, but these structures are initially built with the intent of lasting much longer. To meet changing requirements, they need to be endlessly renovated, which requires more energy and creates waste. They said architecture doesn't fail because it falls down. It fails because it becomes obsolete. If we treat time as design material and mass as an asset rather than a liability, they say we can imagine homes that endure for generations by transforming instead of being replaced. So, and I don't know how they did it because it looks heavy, but they say that these heavy items were designed to be moved quickly. They have rounded boulder-like foot elements, making it possible to pivot and wobble them into place. They can be combined into different room configurations. I have other pictures, so that's one of them. That looks like a coat rack. Here's another one. Here's a bunch of them. Here's another configuration. It's it's not my style of furniture, I would say. I like a little something more warm, but I like the longevity. Scientists at MIT's Department of Architecture did a study on the average lifespan of buildings and concluded that the figure is shorter than the average life expectancy. The climate crisis, they said, is revealing the limits of treating buildings as consumables. So, what if, instead of tearing our buildings apart, we designed them to evolve with us for 1,000 years? Designing for 1,000 year horizon pushes us to rethink what concrete can do. From a research and development perspective, Heirloom House challenges us to innovate at the level of material science so concrete can endure, reconfigure, and even gain value over time. They also say this project addresses economic considerations as well. Building with adaptable components would require no additional materials or manpower. They said if used multiple times over an extended time period, they could appreciate in value and become heirlooms. That's why they're calling it Heirloom House. So, pretty good. I don't know. I don't think I'm a fan. I don't know. What do you think? I'll go back over these pictures so you can look. Looks like that's a coat rack, maybe table configuration. And we have this one. I don't know if it has a little area where you put stuff inside of it or if it just denotes a room change. And then you have this one that looks like a chest of drawers attached to concrete. I don't know. Go into the chat. I love old furniture. Me too, Rhonda. I love something with a story. Ren says kids already don't want their parents' old furniture. They're not going to want this concrete stuff. No. With the sizzle, I am rough on furniture. It will not last long with me. Oh, you're messy. Oh no. You can use them in your mausoleum. Thank you. You put to words what I was thinking. Yeah, very, very cold. Mama says my dad has a house in Mexico that still has a cement kitchen. It even has a built-in metate. I don't know what that means. Or metate. I don't know what that is. Interesting. I like I've seen concrete counters where they change the color of the counter or they make it look interesting in a way. I'm not against concrete, but this concrete, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah. Hello to you, Granny Great. Hanging out. I see you. Mm. I like it, says Tammy. I see tapestries and other art on it, like a castle. Ooh, okay. Very cool. Granny Great says houses in Florida will withstand the hurricanes. At least the cats can't scratch it up, says Ren. What the sizzle says, my cats would scratch it up anyway. I like the idea of flexibility. Mm. Yvonne says, it's so true, Ren. My mom's antiques. None of the kids wanted them. Plus, I didn't have a home to take it to. See, I'm the one in the family that's like, bring the antiques to me. I have a cousin that's the same way. I'm like, I'll take the antiques. And he's like, I want the antiques. Heather says, my mom is so bummed that I don't want all the old family antiques she's held on to, but none of it's my style. And it's a pain in the ass to dust. I'll give you that, Heather. Yeah. My sister is that way. Everything in her house is like new and modern. My house is like a hodgepodge of the stuff from the like family stuff. Kind of looks like, I don't know, college students live here or something. Everything has its own story and came from some different person. Oh, thank you, Mama. Metate is a stone appliance used for, I'll say metate then, right? Is a stone appliance used for grinding corn into masa for tortillas and also for grinding spices. Cool. Thanks, Mama. I appreciate that. See, we learned something new. Thanks, Mama. Kids don't want the service for 12 dishes that don't go in the dishwasher either, nor do they want the silver. Well, I might want the real silver. It's funny you say that, Ren, because I'm also the person that can't let the china go. I really didn't like my grandmother's china, but I have it in a cabinet. I haven't taken it out since it was either give it to me or it was going to Goodwill. And I couldn't bear it. I just couldn't bear it. My grandmother held on to that china her whole life. She loved it so much. How can you let it go? I'm hoping that someone down the line will want it. I don't know. I have 3 sets of china at my house. Don't use any of it, but I just can't bear to let it go to Goodwill. Oh, yeah. I don't have the silver though. I don't have that. Um, John says, I have my parents' old piano I need to find a home for. It's huge and it's heavy, and I don't know anyone that wants it. That's funny, John, because people will say, oh, pianos are so expensive. There are so many free pianos all over the internet, nice ones too. I also have an antique piano. It gets big use at my house. My grandparents were friends with these people that owned a huge grocery store in San Francisco. And they gave them this piano when I started taking piano lessons as a little kid. And it's really old. I don't know how old it is, but it's really old. I think it's a Kohler piano. And uh, then it was at my mom's house. And then when I moved in next door, it came to my house. And my kids use it a lot. So, maybe embrace it. You have to get rid of it. Embrace it. Put pictures on it. Shine it up. Make it look beautiful. Yeah. When will we have a 3D printed houses? I think we already do. As a matter of fact, Nolafidian, there is a subdivision that they're designing. I think it's in Texas, where it's 3D printed houses. I want to say we did a story about that. Yeah. Ren says, I have my friend's mother's china. No one in her family wanted it. Oh, but you took it. I love you. That's so sweet. Yeah, have a great big party, Kim, and use all the antique dishes. What a great idea. I did throw a bridal shower for my sister many years ago. It was a bridal tea, and I have so many teacups from my grandmother that I used all the old teacups, even the teacups from the china sets. So they did come in handy that one time. Tammy says, I have my great grandmother's buffet and the painting that her mother made. See, those things are important. I mean, they're much more important than what? A buffet that you bought at whatever store that's nice and fancy, but it doesn't have a lot of meaning. I don't know. The piano stayed in the family. I took piano lessons in college because I felt deprived as a kid. Then I ended up having too much of a social life, working full time and trying to get A's. Yeah, on to the uncle's family. There you go. All right, we'll move on from our concrete modular furniture to this story about the USS Monitor, 163-year-old Civil War shipwreck, is now visible in stunning detail because of new high-resolution sonar images. So this ship, the USS Monitor, was the U.S. Navy's very first ironclad warship. And we know it sank off the coast of North Carolina in 1862. This ship revolutionized naval warfare, the first of its kind. It sailed into a storm and it sank off the coast of North Carolina. And now, as published in Smithsonian Magazine almost 160 years later, experts have come to us in the world with the first high-resolution sonar images of the USS Monitor. It's resting on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. They took the pictures in September of 2025. Scientists with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, with Stantec and Northrop Grumman, surveyed the Monitor shipwreck. Using this autonomous underwater vehicle, they equipped it with specialized sonar mapping technology. And what the scan produced were highly detailed images. These images are now being used to study features that were previously not visible because of the murky water. And that includes the internal framework of this old ship, which, by the way, is still in fantastic shape, crazily enough. Here's another one of the scans. You can see, they say, the framework of the ship. You can see all the boards. You can see everything. Incredible. 163 years it's been down there. The team plans to use this technology to keep an eye on this protected site and track any changes to this ship over time, like corrosion or damage from storms and currents. But they say this is a great baseline to see what is happening at this shipwreck because it's very difficult to visit, it's very deep, and there's only so much the scuba divers can do. But now they have these scans. By the way, the data is also being used to develop educational tools that will give members of the public a chance to explore this wreck in a virtual way. Because when you talk to kids about history, you can tell the story, but this isn't just a static drawing or an old photograph. It's a 3D model, they say, that comes alive and makes connections. This is some of the history, though, that you're looking at. In late 1861, after learning the Confederate Navy was building an armored warship, then President Abraham Lincoln called for the construction of an ironclad vessel to lead the Union Navy. John Ericsson was a Swedish-American engineer and inventor who came up with this plan for a new ship with thick armor and a gun turret that rotated nearly 360 degrees. The USS Monitor was officially commissioned in New York City in 1862. It was met with some skepticism. Looked, they say, more like a submarine than a surface warship. The flat deck cleared the water by only 14 inches when the ship was loaded. In the middle was this gigantic, ungainly turret shaped like a pillbox. So it was a little weird looking, even back then. It clashed with the CSS Virginia during the Battle of Hampton Roads, the first Civil War scuffle between ironclad warships, and after 4 hours of fighting, the battle ended in a stalemate, with each ship's armor stronger than its opponent's firepower. Neither side prevailed, but the clash ushered in a new era of naval warfare. Then later that same year, the Monitor was called to support Union operations elsewhere. It departed Hampton Roads in 1862, and everything was going to plan until a storm hit off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina on New Year's Eve, and it was lashed about by wind and waves and began to leak and fill with water. Though the Rhode Island, the USS Rhode Island, alongside of it, tried to rescue many of the Monitor's 62 crew members, 16 men died as the ship slipped into the Atlantic. They located the wreckage in 1973, about 240 feet down, and since then, experts have recovered more than 200 tons of artifacts from this wreck, including the pioneering gun turret. And now we have these 3D mapping images. Well, history on the After Party Live today. How about from history to Burning Man? Check this out. This is a new temple being designed for this year's Burning Man, and the artist was inspired by a rare desert flower. I'll have to say, it is pretty cool looking. Done by American artist James Gwertzman. It's a sprawling wooden structure based on this desert bloom called Temple of the Moon. It's based on the shape of the Queen of the Night. That is a cactus flower that only blooms once a year. The Queen of the Night Temple. The annual nature of the flower used because it kind of is comparable to the yearly nature of the Burning Man Festival in Nevada. Gwertzman is a former tech CEO. He leads a Burning Man associated group called Moonlight Collective and works on design. James and the team designed the temple using a parametric approach, shifting the creative process from manual drafting to algorithmic generation. This allowed the team to generate complex organic curves using straight pieces of timber, something that would be nearly impossible to design by hand and to realize a highly expressive form through careful, intentional construction. You can even, from what I understand, go inside of this thing. So I like the inspiration. The Queen of the Night desert bloom. Kind of cool. I think I might have another picture of it. I don't know. Let's see if this is. I tried to get the inside of this thing as well. I don't think that's the same thing. That's a different Burning Man temple. That's okay. Because it is time for Waterfall Wednesday. Take a deep breath. We're going to Luxembourg to take a look at a couple of waterfalls that I found in Luxembourg. And here's one. That looks pleasant, doesn't it? Yeah, I'd go there. This is a waterfall called Tuff Spring. It's kind of more like an overflow basin, but it's still very beautiful. A lot of hikes around this area, some bridges, places to sit and picnic and have fun and hang out. Tuff Spring is the name of it. This is a beautiful one. This next one is called Hallerbach Waterfall. I have a picture of Hallerbach. Look at that. It's a very compact, lovely little waterfall. Right off of a trail. Super pretty. A lot of green moss and water rushing. That's relaxing. You can almost hear that one. Just beautiful. And the third one I have for you kind of combines a lot of After Party Live features. It is called the Trennenlay Tufa Cave. It is located directly on a road near Wallendorf, and you can see here the water trickling from above down into the opening of this cave, the Trennenlay Tufa Cave in Luxembourg. Incredibly beautiful. I don't know if I'd go in the cave, but I might stick my hand in the drip drops at the entrance to the cave. I don't know. There are some other ones. There's the old wash fountain and waterfall where water flows into different troughs in this farming area. A lot of waterfalls out in the country. I did find one that is a hidden waterfall that not many people know about. I have a picture of it. It's in a gorge in Luxembourg. You can hear it rustling, but you can't see it. And a lot of people wonder, where is that water noise coming from? You got to kind of explore to find it. All right. Here is what the hidden waterfall looks like. She says, as she tries to find it. I have it, I swear, I swear. Here it is. Here's the hidden waterfall. And there it is. So there's a waterfall behind a hill and some rotten and fallen trees. And the position of this waterfall makes it inaccessible. So people on the trail can hear water rushing, but can't really easily get to the waterfall. And for that reason, they call this waterfall the hidden waterfall. It's in the Osbach Gorge in Luxembourg. I love the idea of hearing it, though. Would that stop you in your tracks to hear that? Yeah. Very pretty. So there's a lot of wooded, forested areas in Luxembourg. And so there's a lot of kind of waterfalls, way out of the way type of waterfalls. This next one is a waterfall by the shelter and the bridge. And I don't even know if it has any other name than that, that it's just the waterfall by the shelter and the bridge. And that's how you're supposed to know it. And that's how you're supposed to find it. And so it seems, here's a picture of it. Imagine coming across this. There it is. It's beautiful. Looks like some flat, kind of plateau-shaped stones, and the water just flows down. So those are some of the coolest waterfalls in Luxembourg. We have this one, again, where we started. This is more of a runoff, but it's called the Calictuff Springs. And it sure is pretty. Look at that. Then the next one on the list is Hullerbach, this beautiful waterfall. Hullerbach Waterfalls on a trail. Then here's this one. This is the Trenenlay Tufa Cave, where the drops of water come into the mouth of the cave. Then we have our hidden waterfall, where you can hear it, but you can't see it. Well, we can see it. Most people can't. And then we have the waterfall by the shelter and the bridge. That's what it's called. So if you find the shelter and the bridge, you find the waterfall. And that, my friends, is Waterfall Wednesday. Hope it was relaxing for you. We wrap up the show with the lottery of the day. And I actually have two lotto stories of the day. The first one involves a man from Pennsylvania that was visiting his daughter in North Carolina. Took a trip to visit his daughter. He was up in Rural Hall when he stopped at the Pick and Go store, and he bought a ticket for the January 5th Pick 5 drawing, and that ticket ended up being a $410,432 jackpot winner. $410,432. That's what he won. He took home $295,000 after required federal and state tax withholdings. Pretty good. Almost $300,000 he walked away with. I'd say that's a pretty good trip. He doesn't say what he plans to spend it on. That's all right. I'm sure it'll go to good use. And then they're still looking for this lottery winner. This happened in the UK. This is called a life-changing amount of money. They're still looking for the person that won a 181 million pound prize. There is a ticket holder that won the Euro Millions jackpot. It is the third largest jackpot in their history. The winner has not yet been identified. So they said anyone who bought a ticket to the Euro Millions jackpot, is Cranky Charcoal here today? Should check this ticket carefully, because you could be the winner we're looking for, is what they said. The lucky ticket holder matched all 5 numbers and 2 lucky star numbers to win that prize. It is life-changing news. Somebody won big. We'll see who. And that, my friends, is the After Party Live for your Waterfall Wednesday. Thank you for being here. I always love to hang out with you guys. Can I have a little bit of his luck, writes Gordon? Yes, please. A little bit of luck. Once again, thank you to everyone who contributes to make this show happen. So appreciate you guys and your love of the show and your support to make it happen. Wes, James S, Deidre L, Susan S, the most recent contributors. Thank you to everyone who sends in emails and ideas as well. Also so appreciated. All of the ways you support the show. Really love it. And I have a little bit of his luck. Absolutely. All right, you guys. It is going to be a great Mark Thompson show tomorrow. Of course, Mark returns. David Katz, the former federal prosecutor, will be on the show. Big cupcake news, and we'll talk about the show news regarding the start time We'll do that tomorrow as well. But between now and the time when we meet again, make it the very best rest of your Tuesday. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
All right, Heather, this music is intended to motivate you. Dance around, get moving as you move into your new house.